Okay, good afternoon, guys. So let me share the screen. Fine. So today we are going to discuss something regarding functions, function in Python. This is one of the very more, very much needed topic. Okay, I would say that this is one of the very interesting and very much important topic. Okay, from interview point of view, and even for this data science point of view, because you guys are going to use function most of the times, okay, while dealing with those complex codings and all. Okay, anyway, what is function? See, function are the programming features of Python that deals with the code which can be reusable, deals with codes that can be reusable. Suppose you have written few lines of codes, okay, and you want to use those codes again and again. Okay, are you going to simply write down those syntaxes again and again? Instead of writing down those syntaxes and again, you can define one function, and that function would be helping to run that particular logic again and again. Okay, just by calling the function, you can run the particular logic again and again. So that will be simply helping you to reduce your time. Okay, uh, you would be efficiently doing your project, okay, without focusing on running the code again and again. Okay, because if you have already defined the functions, those functions should be taking care of each and everything. Got it? Anyway, let me come up with something called user defined function. Okay, user defined function, there is inbuilt function and there is also user defined function. Inbuilt functions are already a part of your Python. Just call those functions and use those. Okay, that will be directly giving you the required results. But coming to user defined function, for example, suppose a user is going to define something. Okay, so he will be using a particular keyword that is nothing but def. You are defining that particular function, def of, and here you need to provide the function name. Whatever is the function name, you need to provide it. Okay, whatever it is completely up to you. Okay, and here within the parenthesis, you are going to pass something of your choice. For example, I have passed x and y. So here, whatever you are passing, those are actually known as parameters. So parameters are nothing but the variables, inside which the values are going to be passed. Okay, so here during the function definition, you guys are going to put parameters. Got it? And here, after putting this colon, if you press enter, all of a sudden you would be getting to know that your cursor would be somewhere lying here. Okay. So spaces would be getting created before starting something. Okay. Those spaces are nothing but indentations. Indentations. They are basically known as indentations. And in Python, typically four spaces are going to be considered automatically. Okay, those are nothing but indentations. Indentations signifies that whatever you are going to type, that is nothing but a part of this block. Anyway, so here suppose for example, I'll be going for return return x plus y. I will be going for return x plus y. See, return would be helping you to print out this particular result, after the execution has been done. Okay. It will be simply, helping you to print your result in your console. Okay. Now, if I simply go with the function call, this is something, you have defined your function. Okay, this line, signifies the definition of your function. And here some logic, you are going to implement, and based on that particular logic, whatever answer you are going to get, that will be getting returned. That will be getting returned. Okay. But simply writing down these things and running it will not play any role at all. Okay. So to get the output, you need to call the function with the function name. Okay, with the function name, if you are going to call that function, then only it is going to print you result. Okay. For example, suppose I will be going and I will be writing, that function name, whatever the function name I had already given, that function name I will be writing. Along with that, I will be passing the values. For example, right now I will be passing the values as 2, 3. Once I pass this values comma, that is nothing but 2 and 3. See, this 2 is going to be assigned to x, 2 is going to be assigned to x, and 3 is going to be assigned to y. So these values are going to assign to these parameters, to these variables. Okay. So here you need to pass on those values. Those values should be getting stored inside this particular parameters. Okay, they are nothing but defining your parameters. And after this, execution is going to happen. If 2 and 3 has been taken, x is equals to 2, y is equals to 3, then x plus y is nothing but 5 is going to be getting printed. If I simply run this particular line, I will be getting the answer. Okay. What if I would be going and running this line again and again and again at any time, wherever you want, you can run it. Okay, you would be getting 5 only. Okay. So one time you need to mention these things, and once you have mentioned this particular line, that means you have called the function. You can run this line again and again and again and again. You would be getting the same answer. Okay. Here you can pass, sorry, here you can change the values. By changing the values, you would be getting your required answer based on the logic that you have given. For example, someone else is coming and telling you that no, I don't want the addition, I want multiplication. So I'll be going for x into y. If you want x into y, that's fine. Simply have a change here. No need to completely change the entire function. No, the logical part, you need to simply have a modification over it. Okay, once done, the rest of the things leave it. Okay, simply pass on the values. The values would be getting considered, and execution is going to happen. Okay. And from this Python 3.8 version onwards, okay, here in this parameter, while defining something, while defining a function, okay, inside this parenthesis, whatever you are passing, those are basically known as, these parameters are basically also known as what do you say, formal arguments. Formal arguments, there are typically few types of arguments that you need to remember. These are known as formal arguments. Formal arguments are basically given while defining the function. And while calling the function, whatever values you are passing, those are known as actual argument. Actual arguments. Okay. And guys, see, x is equals to 2, y is equals to 3. Why not x is equals to 3, y is equals to 2? See, the position is going to be checked. The position of each and every value is going to be checked along with the parameters that you have passed during the function call, the function definition. So here you have taken, x is at the first position. So here, whatever you are going to pass, whatever value, that will be considered as the first position only. Okay. So the position would be getting checked. Since the positions are also getting checked, so something called as positional arguments also taking care of all these things. Positional argument. Okay. Now here, suppose you want to specifically mention that this should be y, this should be my x. That means instead of x as 3, x as 2, I want x as 3. You can do that. For doing that, here while calling the function, you separately need to write down the parameter name. Okay, here it is y. For example, I will be giving y is equals to 2 and x is equals to 3. If you write it like this, then your x will become 3. Now x is not 2, x is 3. So you have taken the name of that variable or the identifier. You have taken the parameter name. Along with that, you have passed on the value. Specifically, you yourself are providing that the second position, whatever you have written, this is nothing but my x value, and the first position belongs to my y value. If this equals operator is coming into picture, along with the variable name, you are having this value, then this denotes something called as keyword argument. So in keyword argument, you should be having equals to, you are assigning a value to that variable of your requirement. This is known as keyword argument. So these are the different types of arguments. Okay. Now guys, see one thing that you need to remember. One thing you need to remember is, suppose x is here, y is here. I'll be providing y is equals to 3. Y is equals to 3. If I provide y is equals to 3, and here I have given y equals to 2, then which value of y is going to be considered? Is it 3 or is it 2? It will be 2. It will be 2. Why? Because at the very end during the function calling with the function name, whatever I'm passing, those are going to be finalized. Suppose I don't have y value here. I don't have y value here. Only I have x equals to 3. X equals to 3. Then what will happen to the y? If I am not passing the value of y during the function calling, then the default value of y is going to be taken care. And the default value of y is 3. During the function definition, I have already given y is equals to 3, which is nothing but the default value. Okay, so the default value is going to be getting considered. Remember, so this is known as default parameter, default argument, or say an argument. Got it? So these are some of the things that you guys need to be aware of while coming to function, function definition, function calling, and all. Okay. These are part of user-defined function. Okay. And many people used to get confused. What is this? X equals to 3 is given, but y is not given. So is it going to throw error? No, error will not be thrown. Why? Because by default you have taken something. If you're not taking anything, then you may be getting error. If you don't assign any value to your y, then you would be getting error. Okay. Let's try out these things. Let us try out these things. The spider. Practically, you would be able to see these things. Okay. Let's open up your spider. And here one example I have taken. Okay, let's see this example. Def is nothing but the keyword that signifies that the user is going to define something. Is not it? Print max is nothing but the function name. Print max is nothing but the function name. Okay. And here some parameters that I'm passing here. A is given, along with that b equals to 6 is given. Now the default parameter is nothing but your default argument. I would say, b equals to 6 is nothing but your default argument. By default, the value that is going to be assigned to b is nothing but 6. Okay. A is there, no values has been given here. During function calling, we will be providing. Now, inside the block, it is given if a is greater than b, then a is maximum. Else, if a equals to b, that means if a is equals to b, then a equals to b. You would be getting printed. And else part, b is maximum. That's fine, completely fine. Now coming to the function calling. When you are calling the function with the function name, you are passing 2 and 4. These are nothing but your actual argument, is not it? So this 2 is assigned to whom? Who is assigned to whom? Position is going to be taken care of, is not it? So 2 is a part of A, 4 is part of B. But B equals to 6 is already given. So which one is going to be considered? B equals to 6 or B equals to 4? As I told you, always whatever you are passing at the end while function calling, that is going to be your final input. Okay. So b equals to 4 is going to be considered. If you are not passing b, if you are not passing this 4 value here, then b equals to 6 is going to be considered. Why? Because that is by default. Now what would be the answer? Here a equals to 2, b equals to 4. So b is greater, so b is maximum. That means 4 is maximum is something which is going to be getting printed. And I would be running it like this. 4 is maximum. What if I would be removing this 4? If I remove this 4, now A is 2. Now A is 2. Positional argument. First position. A is nothing but 2. What about B? Nothing is given. Do you think that it is going to throw error? No. B would be 6. Why? Because by default it has been given. So if I run it, you would be getting 6 is maximum. Why? Because B is 6. Okay. Now specifically, I just want to mention B is equals to 2 and here A is equals to or maybe 3. Now what do you think? B equals to 6 would be considered or B equals to 2 would be considered? The answer is B equals to 2 would be getting considered. Why? Because this is something I am passing while calling the function finally at the very end. After defining this function, I will be passing these values in order to print the result. So B is equals to 2 is going to be considered and A is equals to 3 is going to be considered. Okay. forget about the sequence of the variables or the parameters present. Why? Because you can alter the sequence of your choice based on the keyword, based on the keyword argument. So this is nothing but keyword argument when you are assigning the value to a variable. Now if I run it, say this 3 is maximum. Why? Because a equals to 3, that is maximum. 3 is greater than 2, is not it? Fine. Now see one more thing. I will be putting a as 2, okay, and I will be writing like this: e is equals to 2. That's fine, okay. And here I will be putting 4. A is equals to 2, and then 4. Now, what do you think? What should be the value of b? Will it be getting executed? Let me tell you. If I run this, I would be getting error. The error is positional argument follows keyword argument. So here a note point that you need to pick up. That is nothing but positional argument cannot be getting followed by keyword argument. That means if you have defined the keyword argument by putting 1 equals to, after that you can't give a single value like this. If you want to give something, give another keyword, b equals to something, b equals to 4. Okay, but you cannot give a single value. This is what it is going to be signifying. Positional argument, position is getting changed, is not it? So error is coming up. Positional argument follows keyword argument. Okay, so if the keyword argument has been mentioned, a equals to 2, the Python is getting confused. Okay, a equals to 2 the user has given by its own choice. What about 4? 4, okay, maybe 4 is, it seems that it is a part of b only, but still Python is getting confused. So this is a rule that you need to put in mind. That is nothing but position argument should not be getting followed by keyword argument. But the reverse can be true. If I simply go and implement it, take it like this. Okay, fine. If I go for a is equals to 2, comma b is equals to 4. What about this? It is going to be getting run. Okay, but the reverse is not going to get run here. Okay, why? Because positional argument should not be getting followed by keyword argument. So this is a point that you need to keep in mind in case by any by any instance, if you are writing it down and you are getting some error, don't get confused at that time. Okay. Okay, and what about default? Okay, let me come up with these things. For example, I will be giving a is equals to 2 and b. That's it. A equals to 2 and b. And if I want to run it, again it will be throwing error. Error is non-default argument follows default argument. Just the way I told you, position argument should not be getting followed by keyword argument. Similarly, a non-default argument should not be getting followed by a default argument. So here it is nothing but a default argument. Default argument is not it. By default, if you are not passing the value of a, it will be taking as 2. That is default argument. After default argument, you should not be getting, or you should not be writing a non-default argument. So non-default argument should not be written after default argument. So this is another kind of error. So two things that you need to mention. One is positional argument should not be followed by keyword argument. Positional argument should not be getting followed by keyword argument. Okay, and the next one is non-default argument should not be getting followed by default argument. Non-default argument shouldn't be followed by default argument. Okay, so these 2 points you need to keep in mind. Okay. Apart of these things, other things would be working. Okay, you can try it out. Okay, just have a try. You will be getting the result for sure. Fine then, guys. Okay. Okay then. So we will be coming back with a few more examples. Okay, stay tuned. Thank you.